The pounding started at 8 a.m., not polite knocking. Pounding. "Frank, open up. We know you're in there." I stood in my kitchen, coffee going cold in my hand, listening to my daughter-in-law Lena scream through 2 inches of solid oak. Behind her, I could hear my grandkids, all 4 of them, whining about being tired. They'd driven 3 hours from the suburbs, without calling first. "Honey, your crazy dad won't let us in," Lena yelled into her phone. The walls in this old building are thin. I heard every word. "He changed the locks. Yes, changed them. We have 4 kids out here." I took another sip. The coffee tasted like rust. Everything in this building tasted like rust eventually. 40 years I'd lived here. 40 years of factory shifts, union meetings, raising a son who now pretended I didn't exist, except when he needed something. The pounding intensified. I checked my watch. 2 hours and counting. That's dedication. I'll give her that. My phone buzzed. Evan, my son. The corporate climber who wore $1,000 suits and couldn't change his own oil. 23 missed calls already. I answered. "Dad, what the hell?" "Morning, Evan. Open the door, now. Didn't know you were coming. Lena told you last month we'd need to stay a while. We're renovating the house. The contractors started yesterday. We have nowhere else to go." I laughed. Couldn't help it. She mentioned it. I said no. "You said you'd think about it." I thought about it. Answers still no. Through the door, Lena's voice went up an octave. "Frank, the kids need to use the bathroom." "There's a McDonald's 2 blocks down," I called back. Evan's breathing changed. That thing he does when he's trying to stay calm, trying to remember his corporate anger management training. "Dad, we're family. You have space. We need 3 months, tops. You have a 4-bedroom house in Oak Ridge Estates. You're telling me your contractors couldn't work around you." Silence. "That's what I thought," I said. "Dad, I'm leaving work now. We're talking about this face to face." He hung up. I went back to my coffee. The pounding had stopped. Through the peephole, I watched Lena herding the kids downstairs, probably to that McDonald's. She shot one last look at my door, the kind of look that could strip paint. 45 minutes later, Evan showed up. I watched through the window as he climbed out of his Lexus, still wearing his work clothes. Charcoal suit, blue tie, shoes that cost more than my monthly pension. He moved like a man who'd never done physical labor in his life. Soft hands, soft gut starting to show despite the gym membership. He had his key ready before he reached the door. I heard him slide it in, turn it. Nothing. "Dad." He pounded once. Professional fist, not like Lena's hysteria. "I know you're there. Open up." I opened up. He pushed past me, Lena and the kids trailing behind like ducks. The oldest, Riley, at least had the decency to look embarrassed. 10 years old and already smarter than her parents. "You changed the locks," Evan said. Statement, not question. "Yep." "Without telling us?" "It's my apartment." Lena was already walking through my space like she owned it, pointing at things. "We can move this stuff to storage. Clear out this room for the girls. Boys can take the den. You don't need all this space, Frank." "I don't recall inviting you in." "Frank," Evan used his management voice, the one that probably worked on junior analysts. "We're not asking for much. 3 months. You barely use half this apartment. We'll pay utilities." I said no. "Why?" Lena spun around, hands on hips. "Why are you being so difficult? We're family. Evan is your only son. These are your grandchildren." I looked at Riley, who was studying my workbench in the corner. Old tools, things I'd collected over decades. Wrenches older than her father. She picked up a Torque wrench, turned it over in her hands with actual interest. "Kid," I said, "put that down careful. It's calibrated." She did. Gentle, respectful. "See?" Lena's voice went syrupy. "The kids love it here. It'll be good for them to spend time with Grandpa. Quality time." Right. I walked to my desk, pulled out my phone, opened an app. This the quality time you mean? I turned the screen toward them. It showed my apartment, listed on Airbnb. Charming vintage 2-bedroom in historic district. Available for monthly rental. Perfect for professional relocating to area. The listing was 3 weeks old. Lena's face went white, then red. We were just exploring options. For my apartment. For after you moved, Evan said quickly. Dad, you've been talking about downsizing. We thought we'd help you transition. Find you a nice senior community. Something manageable. I never said that. You implied it. When? Last Christmas. You said this place was getting hard to maintain. I said the stairs hurt my knees sometimes. Lena jumped in. Frank, you're being unreasonable. We need this. Evan's company is relocating his office closer to the city. We'd be closer to his work. The kids would be in better schools. So buy a place in the city. Do you know what real estate costs here? Her voice climbed. We'd have to sell our house first, and with the market right now. Not my problem. Evan stepped between us. Dad, this is happening. We're staying. You can make it easy, or you can make it hard, but we're staying. Something cold settled in my gut. Get out. No. This is my home. And we're family. Start acting like it. Riley was watching us now, that wrench still in her hand. I saw it in her eyes. Confusion, shame. The moment when kids realize their parents aren't heroes. Put my tools down, sweetheart, I said quietly. Your folks are leaving. We're not. Lena pulled out her phone. Evan, call him. Call Paul. Evan hesitated. Call him, she insisted. Evan dialed. Put it on speaker. A voice answered. Paul Morrison, attorney at law. Paul, it's Evan Mulligan. We talked last week about the living situation. I felt something dark unfurl in my chest. Right, Paul's voice crackled. Did you bring the papers? What papers? I asked. Evan pulled an envelope from his jacket. Dad, we had an attorney draw up a cohabitation agreement. Temporary. Just formalizes that we're staying here with your permission. I'm not signing that. Dad, get out. The thing is, Paul's voice continued from the speaker, Michigan law is pretty clear about family accommodation. If Mr. Mulligan has been allowing family to stay before, I haven't. But you've discussed it, Paul said smoothly. And given that you're family, and there are minor children involved, and Mrs. Mulligan can demonstrate need, this is bull. We're not trying to take advantage, Evan said. He actually looked hurt. We just need help. Family helps family. I looked at my son, really looked at him, saw the calculation behind his eyes, the same calculation I'd seen when he was 12 and wanted a new bike, when he was 16 and wanted the car, when he was 22 and needed rent money for his fancy apartment, always needing, never enough. You know what? I said. Fine, you want to stay? Stay. Lena blinked. Really? Yeah. I'll get some air. We'll talk terms when I get back. I grabbed my jacket. Where are you going? Evan asked. Hardware store. Get some supplies. I walked out. Took the stairs slow, feeling every one of my 63 years in my knees. Behind me, I heard Lena squeal. Heard her telling the kids to pick their rooms. I got in my truck, drove to Home Depot, bought what I needed. When I came back 2 hours later, my key didn't work. They'd changed the locks. On me. I stood there in the hallway, my own hallway in my own building, holding bags from Home Depot, trying my key 3 times before it sank in. Through the door, I heard them laughing. Before we go any further, hit the hype button, take a second to subscribe, and like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And tell us in the comments, what would you do in this situation? I sat in my truck for an hour, maybe more, long enough for the sun to shift, for the shadows to change, long enough to understand what had just happened. They'd planned this, the whole thing, the renovation story, The Airbnb listing, the attorney on speed dial. They'd planned to push me out of my own home. My phone rang. Evan. Dad, where are you? I didn't answer. Dad, come on, don't be dramatic. Come back. We changed the locks for security. You understand. Lots of people in and out now. We'll get you a new key. I hung up. The phone rang again. I turned it off. I had options. I knew people. 40 years working at the Ford plant, 20 of those as a foreman. You don't make it that long without collecting favors. I had lawyers, cops, union reps. I could make this legal hell for them. But something stopped me, some cold, patient voice in the back of my head. They think you're weak, it said. They think you're old and stupid and used up. Prove them wrong. I started the truck, drove across town to a storage unit I'd rented years ago, opened it up. Inside, furniture from the old house, boxes of paperwork, tools I couldn't fit in the apartment, everything I'd accumulated over 6 decades, everything they wanted to throw away. I spent the next week in a motel, cheap place on Route 9, the kind where nobody asked questions. Every morning I'd drive past my building, watch Evan leave for work in his Lexus, watch Lena take the kids to school in her SUV, watch them living my life. I made calls, quiet ones, to people who owed me. Not favors exactly. I'd just been the guy who remembered things. Names, dates, the kind of details that mattered later. Frank Mulligan, Tom Driggs said when he answered. Heard you died. Not yet. Heard you retired. Did. So why are you calling? Need work? Tom ran a private investigation firm now, but back in the day, he'd been a safety inspector at the plant. I'd covered for him once when he'd missed a critical check, prevented a whole mess with the union. He'd gone independent after that, never forgot it. Need information, I said. On my son. Tom whistled. That kind of call. Yeah. What am I looking for? Everything. Work, finances, legal issues. His wife too. This gonna get messy? Already is. 2 days later, Tom called back. You sitting down? I was. Motel bed, springs digging into my back. Talk. Your son's in deep. His company downsized his department 6 months ago. He's been demoted twice, took a 40% pay cut. Kept it quiet. He's still driving a Lexus. Leased, overdue on payments, house in Oak Ridge, second mortgage, behind on that too. How behind? 4 months. Bank sent foreclosure notice last week. I felt something shift. Go on. The renovation story? Bull. House is fine, they're selling it, except they can't sell it fast enough to cover what they owe. They need somewhere free to live while they figure it out. My apartment. Your apartment, Tom confirmed. Gets better. The wife's got her own mess. Runs some kind of lifestyle blog. Got sued 3 months ago for promoting fake weight loss supplements. Settlement cleaned her out. She's looking at bankruptcy. I closed my eyes. Anything else? Yeah. They consulted 3 different attorneys about getting you declared incompetent. Wanted to take over your finances. None of the attorneys would touch it. Why not? Because you're not incompetent. You're just old. And being old isn't a legal disability. I thanked Tom, paid him, sat in that motel room thinking. They'd tried to have me declared incompetent. My own son. The phone rang. Evan. I'd turned it back on that morning. 5th call today. I answered. Dad, where the hell are you? You can't just disappear. We're worried. Right. Come home. Let's talk about this like adults. I'm not signing over my apartment, Evan. Silence. Then, nobody asked you to. Not yet. Dad? How's the job? Still Assistant Director of Regional Operations? I heard him swallow. It's fine. Still making 6 figures? That's not. How much do you owe, Evan? Longer silence. Don't know what you're talking about, he said finally. Right. See you around. I hung up. Blocked his number. Blocked Lena's too. 3 weeks later, I got an invitation. Lena's sister was getting married. Big church wedding, reception hall, the works. And according to the invitation, printed on expensive cardstock, my name hand-calligraphed, Frank Mulligan was invited. More than invited. I was listed in the program. Father of the groom's family. They were putting me in the procession. I hadn't seen or talked to them since they'd locked me out. This was an olive branch. Or a trap. I decided to find out which. The wedding was at Sacred Heart, the big Catholic church on Wellington. I showed up in my good suit. Only suit, really. The one I'd worn to my wife's funeral 8 years ago. Still fit, mostly. The church was packed. Lena's family had money, the kind that shows. Crystal chandeliers that had no business being in a church. Flowers everywhere. String quartet playing something classical. I spotted Evan immediately. He was near the front, looking uncomfortable in a tuxedo. Lena stood beside him wearing something expensive and beige. The kids were there too, scrubbed and dressed like catalogue models. Riley saw me first. Her face lit up, then fell just as quick when Lena grabbed her shoulder. Whispered something. Riley looked away. Yeah, that's how it was going to be. Frank, Lena's mother descended on me, all perfume and fake concern. We were so worried. Where have you been? Around. Evan said you two had a little disagreement. I told him. Family works these things out. You're still living together, yes? No. Her smile froze. Oh dear. Well, I'm sure you'll resolve it. Your family. Family is everything. She patted my arm and floated away. I found a seat in the back, watched the ceremony. The bride looked happy. The groom looked terrified. Normal wedding stuff. But during the reception, things got interesting. The hall was enormous. 300 people easy. Dinner was served. Speeches were made. I ate prime rib and minded my business at a table with cousins I'd never met. Then the DJ called for a special moment. Ladies and gentlemen, the bride's sister Lena would like to say a few words about family. Lena stood up, radiant. The lights hit her just right. She was made for moments like this. Thank you all for being here, she began. Her voice carried perfectly. She'd practiced this. Today is about love and family, and the bonds that hold us together. She paused, looked right at me. Some of those bonds are tested. Some family members make choices that hurt others. But we have to forgive. We have to move forward. Oh, here we go. My father-in-law Frank is here tonight. She gestured at me. Every head turned. Frank, could you come up here, please? I stayed seated. Frank, she said, voice sweet as poison. Please. The room waited. 300 pairs of eyes. I stood, walked to the front, took my time. Let them wait. Hi, Frank, Lena said when I reached her, still smiling. I want to do something tonight, something symbolic. She pulled something from her purse, my apartment key, the old one that didn't work anymore. This key represents the past, the hurt, the stubbornness. But tonight, I want us to move forward as family. She held out her hand. Frank, I'd like you to give me your key. Not the old one, the new one. The one to our home, our shared home, as a symbol that we're all in this together. The room was silent. You changed the locks, I said quietly. We updated security, she corrected, but now I'm asking you in front of all these witnesses to trust us, to be part of this family again. Give me your key. She held her hand out, waiting. The microphone caught every breath. I don't have a key, I said. You locked me out, remember? Her smile cracked. That was a misunderstanding. Was it? Frank. Evan stood up now, walked to the front. Dad, come on, don't make a scene. I'm not the one with the microphone. Lena's voice hardened. Give me your key, Frank. Now. I told you I don't have one. Then how do you expect to come home? It's not your home, Lena. It's mine. The room shifted. Whispers started. You're being selfish, she said loudly. You have all that space. You're one person. We're a family of 6. You're choosing real estate over your own grandchildren. I'm choosing not to be pushed out of my home by my son and his wife, who are broke and desperate. Evan's face went purple. Dad. How much do you owe, Evan? How much? That's private. Not anymore. I looked at the crowd, at all those people in expensive clothes, holding expensive drinks. My son is 4 months behind on his mortgage, lost his job, kept it secret, tried to move into my apartment without asking. When I said no, they changed the locks and kicked me out. That's not, Lena started, and his wife here is being sued for fraud. Promoted fake diet pills to her followers. Settlement cleaned her out. Gasps. Actual gasps. Like we were in a soap opera. This whole thing, I continued, the renovation story, the need for family togetherness, it's a con. They wanted my apartment to flip it, sell it, solve their money problems. You're lying, Lena hissed. Am I? Check the Airbnb listing. They posted it 3 weeks before they showed up at my door. More whispers. Phones came out. People were already searching. Frank, stop, Evan said, his voice cracked. Please. Why? You stopped being my son when you tried to have me declared incompetent. Lena's mother stood up. What? Consulted 3 different attorneys about it. Wanted to take over my finances, put me in a home. When that didn't work, they went with the sympathy play. Poor old Frank, all alone in that big apartment. The DJ was frozen. The bride was crying. The groom was trying to comfort her. And Lena looked at me with pure hatred. Then she slapped me. Hard. Across the face. In front of 300 people. You miserable old bastard, she spat. After everything we've done for you. The room erupted. People standing, shouting. Evan grabbed Lena's arm. The bride's family surrounded her. Security started moving in. I touched my cheek. It stung. Then I smiled. Thanks, I said. That helps. I walked out. Didn't run, didn't rush, just walked. Behind me, chaos. But I didn't care, because Lena's mother had already pulled out her phone. And I knew what would happen next. In families like this, with money like this, image was everything. They'd just destroyed theirs. I sat in my truck in the parking lot, checking my phone. It took 12 minutes. Then the door to the hall opened. Someone came out. Not Evan, not Lena, someone else. A man in a fire chief's dress uniform. Tall, broad, medals on his chest. Late 50s, moving with the kind of authority that made people step aside. Harold Chen. Harry. We'd worked together 20 years at the plant. I'd been foreman of the assembly line. He'd been on my crew. A good worker. Reliable. Then one day, hydraulic line burst. Would have crushed him if I hadn't been there, hadn't pulled the emergency brake fast enough. He'd walked away with bruises. I'd walked away with a broken wrist and a union citation for quick thinking. After that, Harry went back to school. Got his fire science degree. Worked his way up. Now he ran the city fire department. Respected. Connected. And he owed me. I'd called him 2 days ago. Asked a favor. He walked to my truck. I rolled down the window. Done, he said. They listen? They're listening now. I went in there, took the mic, told everyone what kind of man you are, what you did for me, what your son did to you. He shook his head. Place went silent. Half those people are connected to city government, Chamber of Commerce. Your boy just became persona non grata. Good. Lena's family is having a breakdown in there. Bride's not speaking to her. Mother's screaming. That's a shame. Harry grinned. No, it's not. You need anything else? Not yet. You will. Call me. He walked back inside. I drove back to the motel. Lay on the bed. Thought about what came next. Because this wasn't over. Not even close. The first email came at 3 a.m. I was awake anyway. Hadn't been sleeping much. I heard the phone buzz. Checked it on reflex. From Evan Mulligan. Subject, We need to talk, Dad. What you did tonight was unforgivable. You humiliated us. You destroyed Lena's sister's wedding. You made us look like criminals in front of everyone we know. But I'm willing to forgive you. I'm willing to move past this. That's what sons do. Come home. We'll work something out. But you need to apologize. To Lena, to her family, to me. And you need to sign the cohabitation agreement. Show good faith. After that, we can rebuild. Love, Evan. I read it twice, then deleted it. At 6 a.m., my phone rang. Lena, I answered, didn't speak. Frank, her voice was cold. I hope you're proud of yourself. I waited. You ruined everything. Emma's wedding, my family's reputation, Evan's standing in the community. For what? Pride? Stubbornness? For my home? It's just a building. Then why do you want it so badly? Silence. Then, this isn't over. You're going to regret this. Probably. She hung up. I got coffee from the motel lobby. Terrible coffee, but it was hot. Sat in my truck, watching the sunrise. Thinking. They still had my apartment. They still had my keys. And legally, getting them out was going to be a nightmare. Michigan tenant law is complicated. Even if I could prove they moved in without permission, eviction takes months. Court dates, hearings, appeals. I didn't have months, so I called Tom. It's 6:30 in the morning, he groaned. I need more. More what? Dirt. On both of them, everything you can find. Financial records, social media, business dealings. The lawsuit against Lena, I need details. Evan's job situation, names, dates, who fired him and why. Frank, I'm paying you double, triple, whatever it costs. It's not the money, it's, you sure you want to do this? This is your son. He stopped being my son when he locked me out. Tom sighed. Give me 3 days. He called back in 2. Holy hell, Frank, these people are disasters. Talk. Starting with Evan. Lost his job 5 months ago, not 6. Want to know why? Ethics violation. He was approving contracts for vendors who were kicking him money under the table. Company found out, forced him to resign. Could have pressed charges but didn't want the publicity. Evidence? Emails, lots of them. He used his work account for everything like an idiot. IT kept copies. Can you get them? Already did. Sent them to your secure email. What about Lena? Oh, Lena's better. The lawsuit? She was promoting a supplement called Trim Fast Ultra. Company was running a pyramid scheme. Lena knew it. Got people to sign up under her. Made commissions. When it collapsed, 30 women lost their savings. They sued her personally. She settle? Yeah, 60,000. Cleaned out their savings and then some. But here's the thing. She's still doing it. New product, different company. Same scam. Evidence? Screenshots, DMs, testimonial videos. She's using burner accounts, but she's sloppy. Left her face in some of the videos. I felt something cold settle in my chest. Send it all. Frank, what are you planning? Nothing illegal. That's not reassuring. Good. I spent the next 2 days reading. Emails from Evan's work account, showing payment confirmations from vendors. Text messages between him and his boss, arguing about the ethics complaint. And Lena. Lord, Lena. Her social media was a masterpiece of narcissism. Thousands of followers watching her perfect life, in her perfect house with her perfect family. Every post carefully staged, every caption dripping with fake inspiration. And buried in her DMs, messages to women she was recruiting, promises of financial freedom, testimonials she'd written herself under fake names, payment schedules for her commission structure. It was beautiful, not because it was good, because it was evidence. I copied everything, organized it, created folders with dates and timestamps. Then I called Evan. He answered on the first ring. Dad, we need to meet. Yes, we do. Come to the apartment. We'll talk. Neutral ground. The diner on Maple. Tomorrow at noon. Dad, just come home. Noon, come alone. I hung up. He showed up at 11:45. I was already there, in a back booth, watching the door. He looked terrible. Circles under his eyes, suit wrinkled. He'd aged a decade in 2 weeks. Dad. He slid into the booth. Thanks for meeting. Order something. I'm not hungry. I am. The waitress came. I ordered eggs and toast. Evan got coffee he didn't touch. We need to end this, he said. This feud, this situation, it's destroying us. You destroyed yourselves. Dad, I know about the job, Evan. The real reason you got fired. His face went white. I don't know what. The kickbacks, the vendors, the ethics violation. He stared at me. I know about Lena's lawsuit, the pyramid scheme. I know she's doing it again. New company, same scam. You hired someone. I did. To investigate us. Yes. He laughed, bitter. Of course you did. Because you can't just let this go. Can't just forgive your son for making a mistake. A mistake? You tried to steal my home. We needed help. You needed money. There's a difference. The waitress brought my eggs. I ate. Evan watched. What do you want? He finally asked. Money? An apology? What? I want you out of my apartment. We have nowhere else to go. Not my problem. Dad, please, the kids, don't. I pointed my fork at him. Don't use your kids. You brought them into this. You taught them it was okay to take what isn't yours. We're family. Family doesn't lock each other out. Family doesn't try to have each other declared incompetent. Family doesn't lie and steal and manipulate. His face hardened. Fine. You want to play it this way? We're not leaving. You try to evict us, we'll fight it. It'll take months, maybe years. And every day we'll be living in your apartment, sleeping in your bed, using your stuff. No, I said. You won't. What's that supposed to mean? I pulled out my phone, showed him the screen. It displayed a Facebook post. From that morning, posted to 15 local community groups. Warning, local scammer targeting women. Lena Mulligan, a.k.a. All Life with Lena, promoting pyramid scheme supplements. Lost $60,000 in lawsuit but still recruiting. See evidence below. Below the text, screenshots, dozens of them, Lena's messages, her testimonials, her commission structure. Evan grabbed for my phone. I pulled it back. You can't. Already did. Posted at 6 a.m. Got 300 shares so far. Take it down. Can't. It's everywhere now. Someone already sent it to the local news. I got an email from a reporter asking for comment. Dad, please. There's more. I pulled out a folder, set it on the table. Emails from your work account, the ones showing the kickbacks. I sent copies to your old company's ethics board this morning. Also to the State Contractor Licensing Bureau. You bastard. They might press charges now. Once it's public, they won't have a choice. Evan stood up. His chair scraped loud. People looked. You're trying to destroy us. I'm defending myself. We're your family. You were. Not anymore. He left. Didn't pay for his coffee. I finished my eggs. Paid. Left a tip. Outside, I sat in my truck and waited. My phone rang within an hour. Lena, screaming. You posted that. You posted lies about me. Not lies. Evidence. I'm calling my lawyer. Good luck with that. Truth is an absolute defense. I'll sue you for defamation. With what money? You're broke, remember? Careful. That sounds like a threat. She hung up. I drove across town, to my storage unit, opened it up, started sorting through boxes. I had work to do. It took me 2 days to make the apartment livable, another week to make it mine again. I called a locksmith, changed all the locks again, put in a security camera over the door. I sorted through what was left. They'd taken my TV, my laptop, half my kitchen equipment, broken what they couldn't carry. I filed a police report. The officer who took it looked sympathetic but useless. Family disputes are complicated, he said. You could press charges for the damage, but proving who did it without witnesses. Forget it, I said. You could take them to small claims court. I said forget it. He left. I didn't want small claims court. I wanted something else. Tom called. Heard your son moved out. Yeah. You still want me digging? No, we're done. You sure? I found some interesting stuff about Lena's business partners. Could make trouble for her. Let it go. Really? After everything? Yeah. Huh, okay. You need anything else, call me. I hung up, but I wasn't done. Not really. I was just changing tactics. I started attending city council meetings. Never said a word. Just sat in the back, listening. Learning who had power, who wanted it, who was connected to what. Lena's family owned a commercial real estate firm. Big one. They had contracts with the city for property management, redevelopment projects. I learned their names, memorized their faces. Then I started making calls. Mr. Morrison, Frank Mulligan. We haven't met. I'm calling about the Parkside redevelopment project. I'm sorry, who? A concerned citizen. I have some documents that might interest the city council regarding bidding irregularities. Silence. Then, what kind of documents? The kind that show inflated quotes, kickbacks to city officials, falsified inspection reports. Where did you get these? Does it matter? More silence. What do you want? Nothing. Just thought the public should know. I hung up. I didn't have any documents. Not yet. But I knew how to get them. I called an old friend from the plant, Jerry Castillo. He'd left manufacturing to become a city building inspector. We'd worked together for 15 years before he retired. Frank, long time. Jerry, need a favor. Name it. The Morrison real estate projects. The ones on Parkside and Webster. Can you pull the inspection reports? That's public record. Why? Just curious. Frank, how many favors do I have left with you? With you? Unlimited. You kept me employed when I had pneumonia and missed 2 weeks. What are you looking for? Anything that doesn't add up. Dates that don't match. Approvals that came too fast. You think they're cutting corners? I think they're doing something. Jerry called back 3 days later. Found something. Maybe nothing. But the Webster project passed final inspection in November. Except the permits show construction didn't start until December. Someone backdated the approvals. Can you prove it? Got the original digital timestamps. They tried to alter them, but did it sloppy. Left metadata. Send it to me. Frank, what are you doing? Justice. That's not an answer. It's the only one I got. He sent the files. I organized them, added them to a folder with other public records I'd requested. Building permits, contractor licenses, tax assessments. Then I sent everything to the city council, anonymously, through a Proton Mail account. I also sent copies to the local newspaper, and to 3 different government oversight agencies. Then I waited. The story broke on a Tuesday. Morrison Real Estate under investigation for building code violations. By Wednesday, the county prosecutor was involved. By Friday, Lena's father resigned from the company. I didn't feel good about it, didn't feel bad either. I just felt something was balanced. But I still wasn't done. Because Evan had gotten a new job. I saw it on LinkedIn. Some startup company, decent title, probably decent salary. He was rebuilding. I couldn't have that. I found out which company through Tom, even though I told him to stop digging. He sent me the information anyway. Call it a farewell gift, he said. The company was called Integrated Solutions. They did corporate consulting. Evan was listed as a senior strategy director. I looked up the company's board. Found 3 names I recognized, 2 from the auto industry, 1 from the union. I called the union guy. Pete Kowalski. Pete, Frank Mulligan. Frank, Jesus, how long has it been? 10 years, maybe more. You still retired? Yeah, listen, I'm calling about a favor. Go ahead. You're on the board at Integrated Solutions. Yeah, why? My son works there. Evan Mulligan. Oh, yeah, he just started. Good hire. Smart kid. He's a thief, Pete. Silence. He got fired from his last job for taking kickbacks from vendors. Ethics violation. Company forced him to resign. I have documentation. Frank, I'll send it to you. You do what you want with it. But I thought you should know, before he costs your company money. This is your son. I know. And you're burning him. He burned me first. I sent the emails, the documentation, everything. Pete called back the next day. We're conducting an internal review. If what you sent checks out, we'll have to let him go. You understand that? I do. Frank, I have to ask, why? Why would you do this to your own kid? Because he needs to learn. Actions have consequences. This will destroy him. Good. Evan was fired 3 weeks later. I found out from Riley. She called crying. Grandpa, Dad lost his job. Mum's saying it's your fault. Is it? I didn't answer. Grandpa? Yes, it's my fault. Why? Because he hurt me, and I hurt him back. But he's your son. He was. She hung up. I sat in my apartment, the clean apartment, the empty apartment, all my stuff gone or destroyed, just me and the furniture and the memories. I thought about stopping, about calling Evan, about trying to fix things. Then I remembered standing in my hallway, key not working, hearing them laugh inside. I remembered the wedding, the slap, the humiliation. I remembered the destroyed apartment. No, I wasn't done. The thing about revenge is it's never satisfying. Not really. Every step just makes you hungrier for the next one. I knew that. Didn't care. Lena's lifestyle blog was still active. Despite everything, she was still posting. Still promoting products. Different name now. Different company. Same scam. I documented everything. Screenshots with timestamps. Testimonials she'd faked. Messages to women she'd recruited. Then I created a website. Called it The Real Lena Mulligan. Bought the domain for $12. Uploaded everything. Every screenshot. Every message. Every court document from her lawsuit. Pictures from her old pyramid scheme next to pictures from her new one. Made it searchable. Made it public. Within a week, it was the top Google result for her name. She called me, screaming. Take it down. No. That's defamation. That's harassment. That's public information. I'll sue you. With what lawyer? You're broke. Frank, please, I have kids. They Google my name for school projects. They see this. Should have thought about that before. I'll do anything. Name your price. There is no price. You took my home. I'm taking your reputation. She hung up. 2 days later, she showed up at my apartment. I watched through the security camera. She stood outside my door for an hour, knocking, pleading, crying. I didn't answer. Eventually she left, but something was wrong. I felt it. That night, my door lock clicked. I was awake. I'm always awake now. Someone was trying to get in. I grabbed the bat I kept by the bed, moved to the door, watched through the peephole. It was dark, but I could make out shapes. 2 people, one tall, one short. Evan and Lena. They had keys, copies I didn't know about, but I'd installed a deadbolt, chain lock. They couldn't get in. Frank, Evan pounded. We know you're awake. I stayed quiet. Open up. We need to talk. I pulled out my phone, dialed 911, kept my voice low. Someone's trying to break into my apartment. I gave the address. The dispatcher said someone was on the way. Frank, Lena now. You can't hide forever. Police are coming, I called through the door. You're trespassing. This is our home too. No, it's not. You have no legal right to be here. They pounded harder. I heard something metal. A crowbar, maybe. You're trying to break in, really? You destroyed our lives, Evan shouted. You took everything from us, everything. You did that to yourselves. No, you did it. You posted those lies about Lena. You sent those emails about me. You ruined us. I told the truth. You're a vindictive old man. You couldn't handle that we needed help, so you destroyed us. You tried to steal my home. We were family. Not anymore. I heard sirens. They heard them too. We're not done, Lena said. This isn't over. They left. I heard them running down the stairs. The police arrived, took my statement. I showed them the security footage. Showed them the crowbar they'd dropped in the hallway. You want to press charges? The officer asked. Yes. It's your son. I know. They were arrested that night, breaking and entering, attempted burglary. They bonded out the next morning, but now they had records. Riley called me. Grandpa, why? Why did you call the police on Dad? He was trying to break into my home. He just wanted to talk. At 2 a.m., with a crowbar. You're tearing this family apart. I'm not the one who started this. But you're the one who won't stop. She was right. I didn't care. A week later, Evan and Lena lost custody of their kids. Temporarily. Lena's parents petitioned for emergency guardianship, claiming their daughter and son-in-law were unstable. The breaking and entering arrest was the evidence they needed. Riley called me again. We're living with Grandma Morrison now. Mom's in the hospital. She had a breakdown. I'm sorry. Are you? Are you really? Yes. Then stop, please. Grandpa, please stop. I can't. Why not? Because they need to understand. They need to learn. Learn what? That actions have consequences. They've learned. They lost everything. Their house, their jobs, their reputation, their kids. What more do you want? I thought about that. What did I want? I wanted my son back, the one who used to help me fix the car, the one who called every Sunday, the one who wasn't a liar and a thief. But that son was gone. Maybe he'd never existed. I want them to admit what they did, I said. Really admit it, not just in a signed statement. I want them to understand they were wrong. They do understand. No, they think they're victims. They think I'm the bad guy. Maybe you are. She hung up. I sat in my empty apartment, looking at the walls I'd repainted, the furniture I'd replaced. Everything new, everything different, everything hollow. The court date for the breaking and entering charge was set for November. I showed up early, sat in the back of the courtroom, watched other cases get processed. Drunk drivers, shoplifters, domestic disputes. Then they called Evan's name. He walked in with Lena and a public defender. They looked destroyed. Evan had lost weight. Lena's hair was unwashed. They both wore clothes that had seen better days. The judge read the charges. Breaking and entering, attempted burglary. How do you plead? Not guilty, Your Honor, the public defender said. These are my client's family matters that escalated. I don't care if it's family, the judge interrupted. Breaking into someone's home is breaking into someone's home. Your Honor, the defendant's father has been conducting a harassment campaign against my clients. He's posted defamatory content online, interfered with their employment and... Is the father pressing charges? Yes, Your Honor. The judge looked at me. You're the father. I stood. Yes. And you want to proceed with charges against your son? Yes. The judge shook his head. This is a mess. Both parties approached the bench. We did. Me, Evan, Lena, the public defender, the prosecutor. Okay, the judge said quietly. This is clearly a family dispute. You people need counseling, not court, so I'm going to make you an offer. Diversion program. Your son and daughter-in-law complete anger management classes, pay restitution for damages, and the charges get dismissed. No, I said. Everyone stared. Sir, the judge said, this is a generous offer. I don't want generous. I want consequences. He's your son. That's why I want consequences. The judge looked at Evan. You want to take this to trial? No, Your Honor, Evan said quietly. I'll take the diversion program. Good. Case continued for sentencing. Next case. We filed out. In the hallway, Evan turned to me. Happy now? No. What will make you happy? What will end this? I don't know anymore. Dad, his voice cracked. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. We were desperate. We made mistakes, but this has to stop. Slowly, by taking everything that mattered. It was just an apartment. It was my home. It was my life. It was all I had left after your mother died. He looked down. I know. Do you? Do you really? Yes. Then why did you do it? Because I was scared. I was losing everything. My job, my money, my reputation. I thought if I had your apartment, I could sell it, fix everything. I thought you'd understand. I thought you'd help. By forcing me out. I didn't know what else to do. You could have asked. Would you have said yes? No. Exactly. We stood there in the courthouse hallway. People walking past. Lawyers, defendants, families. I can't undo what you did, I said, and you can't undo what I did. So where does that leave us? I don't know. Lena was crying again, quiet sobs. The public defender was trying to comfort her. She's sick, Evan said. Really sick. Depression, anxiety. She's on medication now. Therapy 3 times a week. I didn't mean for that to happen. Didn't you? Maybe I did. Maybe that was the point. The kids miss you, Evan said. Riley especially. She asks about you every day. Tell her I miss her too. Then stop, please, Dad, stop. I looked at him. My son. Broken and desperate and hollow. I'd done this, not entirely, but enough. I'll think about it, I said. I left, but that night, someone threw a brick through my window. No note, no message, just a brick wrapped in newspaper. I called the police. They came, took a report, promised to investigate. But I knew who did it. The next night, my truck tires were slashed. The night after, someone spray-painted "Die Old Man" on my building's front door. I installed more cameras, bought pepper spray, started varying my routine, but I couldn't catch them, and I couldn't prove it was them. So I escalated. I found out where they were staying. A cheap apartment on the east side. Lena's parents had cut them off after the custody battle. I drove past it, watched their patterns, when they left, when they came back. Then I called code enforcement. Yeah, I'd like to report a housing violation. Multiple families living in a single-bedroom unit. Fire hazard. They investigated, confirmed, issued citations. Evan and Lena were evicted 2 weeks later. Riley called me. They're living in a motel now. Because of you. Because you called and reported them. They were breaking housing codes. They're your family. They threw a brick through my window. You destroyed their lives. They destroyed mine first. Grandpa, I hate you. She hung up. I sat in my apartment, alone, safe, completely alone. Winter came, early and hard, snow in October, ice on the roads. I didn't go out much. Groceries delivered, bills paid online, doctor appointments rescheduled. My apartment was a fortress and a prison. I thought about Riley's words. I hate you. She wasn't wrong. I'd become the thing I hated, the villain, the monster. But I couldn't stop, because stopping meant admitting I was wrong. And I wasn't wrong. Was I? The phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Frank Mulligan? Yeah. This is Beth Morrison, Lena's mother. I said nothing. I'm calling because my daughter is in the hospital. Again. She tried to hurt herself. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you? Are you really? Yes. Then why won't you stop? Why won't you let this end? Why won't she admit what she did? She has. She's admitted it to her therapist, to me, to her father. She knows she was wrong. She knows she hurt you. But you keep hurting her back. When does it end? When I'm satisfied. Will you ever be satisfied? Good question. I don't know, I said. Frank, I'm begging you, as a mother, as a grandmother. Please, stop. My daughter is sick. My son-in-law is broken. My grandchildren are traumatized. Enough. Your daughter tried to steal my home. Your son-in-law locked me out of my own apartment. They humiliated me, lied about me, destroyed my property. And you're asking me to stop? Yes, because you've won. You've beaten them. They have nothing left. What more can you take? Their regret, their understanding, their admission that they were wrong and I was right. They've admitted it. Not to me. Would it matter if they did? Would it? I don't know, I said again. Then figure it out, before someone dies. She hung up. I sat there holding the phone, thinking. Someone knocked on my door. I checked the camera. Riley. Alone. I opened the door. She stood there in a winter coat too thin for the weather, 10 years old and carrying the weight of 2 families on her shoulders. Can I come in? I stepped aside. She walked to my couch, sat, looked around. You fixed it up, she said. It looks nice. Thanks. I remember when it used to have all your stuff, the tools and the pictures and Grandma's paintings. Yeah, I miss that. Me too. She looked at me. Grandpa, I need you to do something. What? I need you to stop. Riley, I'm not asking, I'm telling. Stop. It's not that simple. Yes, it is. You call whoever you need to call. You take down that website. You stop sending emails and making reports. You stop. They hurt me first. I know. They were wrong. They know they were wrong. But you're wrong now too. Riley, did you know that? She took pills, lots of them. Grandma Morrison found her in time, but barely. The doctor said if she'd been alone another hour. I felt something cold in my chest. Dad can't work anymore. Nobody will hire him. Your emails made sure of that. He does day labor now. Construction. His back hurts all the time. He cries at night. I hear him. That's not... And me and my siblings? We're scared all the time. Scared someone's going to take us away. Scared Mum's going to try again. Scared Dad's going to do something stupid. Scared you're going to do something else. I never meant... Yes, you did. You meant all of it. You wanted them to suffer. And they are. Congratulations, Grandpa. You win. She stood up. Riley, wait. No. I'm done waiting. We're all done waiting. Either you stop, or you lose us forever. All of us. Because we can't live like this anymore. She walked to the door. Stopped. Turned back. I used to think you were the smartest person I knew. The strongest. But now I know the truth. What truth? You're just a bitter old man who chose revenge over love. She left. I stood in my apartment. My clean, safe, empty apartment. And for the first time in months, I felt something other than anger. I felt shame. I took down the website that night, called Tom, told him to stop digging, told him to destroy all the files he had. You sure? He asked. Yeah. What changed? My granddaughter told me the truth. What truth? That I won. And winning feels like losing. I called the newspaper, asked them to retract the story about Morrison Real Estate. Can't do that, the editor said. It's accurate. But it was started by me, for revenge. Doesn't matter, the facts are facts. I called the prosecutor, asked them to drop the charges against Evan and Lena. You're the victim, it's your choice. Then I choose to drop them. Okay, I'll file the paperwork. I called Lena's mother. It's Frank. What do you want now? To apologize. Silence. I stopped everything. The website's down. The charges are dropped. I'm not making any more reports or calls. Why now? Because Riley asked me to. She's 10 years old. She's smarter than all of us. More silence, then. Thank you. Can I see her? See them? I don't think that's a good idea. I understand. I hung up. I thought about calling Evan. Couldn't do it. So I wrote a letter instead. Evan, I'm stopping. All of it. No more revenge, no more reports, no more interference. You were right, it was just an apartment, and I chose it over my family. I don't expect forgiveness, I don't deserve it, but I'm sorry, for all of it. Dad, I mailed it, didn't get a response, didn't expect one. Days passed, then weeks, then months. I lived in my apartment, alone, safe, miserable. I started going to the library, just to be around people, reading newspapers, doing puzzles. One day, I saw Riley there. She was in the children's section, reading. She looked up, saw me, looked away. I walked over anyway. Hi, sweetheart. Hi. What are you reading? She showed me, a book about marine biology. Looks interesting. It is. Awkward silence. Riley, I'm sorry. I know. Can we talk sometime? Maybe get ice cream? She thought about it. I'll ask Mom. Okay. She went back to reading. I left. 2 weeks later, Beth Morrison called. Riley wants to see you. Really? Don't make her regret it. I won't. We met at a park, neutral ground. Beth brought her, stayed in the car, watching. Riley sat on the swings. I sat next to her. Thanks for coming, I said. Mum made me. Oh. But I wanted to anyway. Good. We swung in silence. Are you still mad at me? I asked. Yes. Fair. But I miss you. I miss you too. Why did you do it? All of it? I thought about how to answer, decided on truth. Because I was hurt and angry, and I wanted them to hurt like I hurt. Did it work? Yeah, it worked. Do you feel better? No, I feel worse. Good. We swung some more. Grandpa, can I ask you something? Anything. If you could go back, would you do it differently? I thought about that. Really thought. Yeah, I would. What would you do? I'd let them stay. 3 months. I'd charge them rent. I'd set boundaries. I'd help my family instead of destroying them. Why didn't you? Pride, hurt, stupidity. That's honest. I'm trying to be. Beth honked the horn. Time to go. Riley jumped off the swing, started walking away, stopped, came back, hugged me, quick, then ran to the car. I sat on the swing watching them drive away. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was something. Spring came. The ice melted. The world turned green. I got a job, part-time at a hardware store, helping people fix things. It felt good, using my hands, being useful. I ran into Evan one day, at a grocery store. We stood in the frozen food aisle, staring at each other. Dad. Evan. You look good. You too. He didn't. He looked tired, older, worn down. I got your letter, he said. Yeah? It meant something. Not everything, but something. I understand. I'm working now, warehouse job, night shift, pays okay. That's good. Lena's better. She's on medication, seeing a therapist. She's not great, but she's alive. I'm glad. The kids are okay. Riley talks about you sometimes. She's a good kid. Yeah. Awkward silence. Dad, I'm sorry too, for what we did, for how we did it. We were desperate and scared and we handled it wrong. I know. But what you did after? I know. I know. He nodded. Okay, at least you know. He started to walk away. Evan, he turned. Can we have coffee sometime? Just talk. He thought about it. Maybe. Someday. Not yet. Okay. He left. I stood there in the frozen food aisle holding a TV dinner. It wasn't reconciliation, but it was something. That summer, Riley asked if she could visit. Beth brought her over. Stayed this time. Sat in my kitchen while Riley explored the apartment. You really did fix it up, Beth said. Yeah, took a while. The kids used to love coming here, before all this. I remember. Maybe they can again, someday. Maybe. Riley came back. Grandpa, where's your workbench? Storage. Want to see? Her face lit up. Yes. We drove to the storage unit. I opened it. She walked through, touching tools, asking questions. Can I learn to use them? If your grandma says yes. Beth nodded. So we spent the afternoon. Me teaching, Riley learning. How to use a wrench. How to measure. How to think through a problem. Like I'd taught Evan 30 years ago. When we left, Riley hugged me. Can I come back next week? If you want. I want. That night I sat in my apartment, alone, but less alone than before. 2 years passed. I saw Riley regularly, every week at first, then every few days, teaching her things, listening to her talk. She was 12 now, taller, smarter, still carrying too much weight. Dad might get a better job, she told me one day. We were fixing a broken chair. An office job, if he can pass the background check. That's good. Your emails still show up, though, when companies search his name. I know, I'm sorry. It's okay. Mom says time heals everything. Does she? Yeah. She talks about you sometimes. Not nice things, but not mean things either. Just facts. That's fair. She might forgive you someday, maybe. I don't need her to. Yes, you do. Smart kid. One day Evan called. Dad, I got the job, the office job, good pay, benefits. That's great, son. Yeah, it is. I start Monday. Congratulations. Silence. Dad, Lena and I talked. We're having a family dinner next month. For Riley's birthday. We'd like you to come. My throat tightened. You sure? No, but Riley wants you there. So, I'll be there. Okay, I'll text you the details. He hung up. I sat there holding the phone. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was something. The dinner was at a restaurant, casual place, pizza and breadsticks. I arrived early, waited in the parking lot, watched them arrive. Evan, Lena, the kids. Riley saw me, ran over. You came. Of course. Dad said you might not. I wouldn't miss it. We went inside. The table was big, round. Evan sat across from me, Lena next to him. We ordered, made small talk, about weather, about Riley's school. It was awkward, painful, but we got through it. At the end, Evan stood up. I want to say something. Everyone stopped. 2 years ago, our family broke. We all did things we regret, said things we regret, hurt each other in ways that can't be undone. He looked at me. But we're still family, and Riley reminded us that family is worth fighting for, not against. He raised his glass. To second chances. Everyone raised their glasses. To second chances, we repeated. I looked at my son, at my daughter-in-law, at my grandchildren. We weren't fixed, but we were trying. 3 months later, Lena called me. Frank, we need to talk. Okay. Not on the phone. Can you come over? I drove to their apartment. New place, small but clean. They'd rebuilt. Lena let me in. She looked different. Thinner, tired, but alive. Coffee? She asked. Sure. She made coffee. We sat at the kitchen table. I'm ready to talk about it, she said. Really talk. About what happened. Okay. We were wrong. What we did to you. The apartment, the locks, the manipulation, all of it. We were wrong. Yes. But you were wrong too. What you did after. The emails, the posts, the reports. You tried to destroy us. I did. Why? We're family. How could you do that? How could you lock me out of my own home? She looked down. We were desperate. So was I. No, you were angry. There's a difference. She was right. Lena, I'm sorry for all of it, for going too far. I'm sorry too. We sat there, two people who'd hurt each other, trying to find a way forward. Can I ask you something? She said. Anything. If we came to you now, asked for help. Really asked, not demanded. What would you say? I thought about it. I'd say yes, but with conditions. Rent, boundaries, respect. Would you trust us? Eventually. She nodded. That's fair. She stood up. Thanks for coming. Thanks for inviting me. At the door, she stopped me. Frank, I hated you for a long time. Part of me still does. I understand. But Riley loves you, and that matters. So I'm trying. For her. That's all I can ask. I drove home. Back to my apartment, my fortress, my prison. But it felt different now. Less like protection, more like a choice. That night, I called a realtor. Frank Mulligan, I want to sell my apartment. The one on Wellington? Yeah. When? Soon. I'm ready to downsize. Where will you go? Don't know yet. Somewhere smaller, quieter, easier to maintain. Okay, I'll draw up the paperwork. I hung up. For 2 years I'd fought to keep my home, destroyed my family to protect it, and now I was walking away. Not because they forced me, because I chose to, because holding on to the apartment meant holding on to the anger, the hurt, the pride, and I was tired of holding on. The apartment sold fast, cash offer, good price. I packed slowly, 40 years of life in boxes. Riley helped. Where are you going to live, Grandpa? Found a condo, 10 minutes from here. Ground floor, no stairs. Will I still see you? Every week, promise. Evan came over on moving day. Didn't say much, just helped load boxes. At the end, we stood in the empty apartment, just the two of us. Dad, why now? Why sell? Because I don't need it anymore. What do you need? Less than I thought. He looked around. I remember being a kid here. You teaching me to fix things. Mom making dinner. It was good. Yeah, it was. I'm sorry we ruined it. We both ruined it. Can we fix it? Maybe. With time. He nodded. I can live with maybe. We locked the door for the last time, turned in the keys, drove away. I moved into the condo, 1 bedroom, small kitchen, enough space for me and my tools. Riley came over that weekend. It's nice, Grandpa. You think? Yeah, it feels like you. What does that mean? Simple, honest, real. Smart kid. Life settled into a rhythm. Work at the hardware store. Coffee with Riley on Saturdays. Occasional dinners with the family. Evan and I talked more. Not about the past. About present things. Work, weather, sports. Lena stayed distant. Polite but distant. That was okay. One day, Riley asked a question. Grandpa, do you regret it? What you did? Which part? All of it. Fighting back. Destroying them. I thought about it, really thought. Yeah, I regret it. Why? Because I became the villain. And villains always lose, even when they win. But you stopped. You fixed things. I tried to fix things, not the same as fixing them. Close enough. Maybe she was right. That winter, I got a call from Beth Morrison. Frank, Lena's in the hospital. My stomach dropped. What happened? Car accident. Drunk driver. She's okay, but she's got broken ribs and a concussion. Evan's there with her. What can I do? The kids. Can you watch them tonight? Just until we figure things out? Yes, of course. She brought them over. All 4. Riley and her siblings. Be good, Beth told them. Grandpa's helping us. They were scared. Quiet. Riley held her little sister's hand. I made dinner. Nothing fancy. Spaghetti, garlic bread. We ate. Then I got out cards, taught them poker, quarter ante. By the end of the night, they were laughing. Grandpa, you're cheating, Riley said. Am not. Are too. Prove it. She couldn't. I was good at poker. Beth picked them up late. How were they? Perfect. Thanks for doing this. Anytime. 2 days later, Evan called. Dad, Lena wants to see you. Why? Don't know, she just asked. I drove to the hospital, found her room. She was awake, bruised, bandaged, but alive. Frank, Lena, thanks for watching the kids. Of course. I heard you taught them poker. Yeah, Riley's a natural. She almost smiled. Evan told me about the condo, that you sold the apartment. Yeah. Why? Because it was time. Not because we took it. No, because I didn't need it anymore. She looked at me. I never understood you, Frank. Still don't. That's okay. I spent 2 years hating you, blaming you for everything. I gave you reasons. You did, but I gave you reasons first. We both did things wrong. Yeah. Silence. Frank, I'm not going to say we're friends, or that I forgive you completely, but I don't hate you anymore. That's something. It is. She closed her eyes. Tired, I left. In the hallway, Evan was waiting. What did she say? That she doesn't hate me. That's progress. Yeah, it is. We walked to the elevator, stood there waiting. Dad, I need to tell you something. Okay. The kids, they're doing better, Riley especially. She's happy again, laughs more, smiles. Good. It's because of you, because you came back, because you stopped. I should have stopped sooner. Maybe, but you stopped. That's what matters. The elevator came. We rode down in silence. In the parking lot, we stopped. Dad, I'm not ready to forgive you. Not completely. What you did hurt. Still hurts. I know. But I'm not ready to lose you either. What does that mean? It means we keep trying, keep showing up, keep being family, even when it's hard. I can do that. Good. He walked to his car. I walked to mine. I drove home to my condo. My small, simple, quiet condo. And for the first time in 3 years, I felt something other than anger or shame. I felt peace. Not complete peace. Not perfect peace. But enough. Because I'd learned something. Revenge doesn't heal wounds. It deepens them. And family, broken or not, is worth more than pride. I'd lost time. I'd lost trust. I'd lost respect. But I hadn't lost everything. I still had Riley, still had fragile connections to Evan, still had chances to rebuild. It wasn't the happy ending I'd imagined. No tearful reunions, no dramatic apologies, no instant forgiveness, just people. Trying. Failing. Trying again. Maybe that was enough. I sat in my living room, looking at my tools, at my pictures, at the life I'd rebuilt from the ruins. The phone rang. Riley. Grandpa, can you teach me to fix Mum's lamp? It broke. Sure, bring it over tomorrow. Okay, love you, Grandpa. Love you too, sweetheart. I hung up, sat there in the quiet, and smiled, because sometimes the only way to win is to stop fighting. And sometimes the only way to keep what matters is to let go of what doesn't. I'd spent 3 years learning that lesson. 3 years of pain and rage and revenge. 3 years of becoming something I hated. But I'd stopped. I'd changed. I'd let go. And in letting go, I'd found something I thought I'd lost forever. A reason to get up every morning. A family that needed me, even if they didn't trust me. A granddaughter who loved me, despite everything. That was enough. That was everything.